Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you, depending where you are in the world. It's our nighttime devotion. We're reading from Lift Him Up, the daily devotional. The title today is Brought Back by the Shepherd. The scripture reading comes from Ezekiel 34:12. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day, that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they've been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. That's from Ezekiel 34:12. The sheep that strayed from the fold is the most helpless of all creatures. It must be sought for by the shepherd, for it cannot find its way back. So with the soul that has wandered away from God, he is as helpless as the lost sheep. And unless divine love had come to his rescue, he could never find his way to God. The shepherd who discovers that one of his sheep is missing does not look carelessly among the flock that is safely housed and say, I have 99 and it will cost me too much trouble to go in search of the straying one. Let him come back and I'll open the door of the sheepfold and I'll let him in. No sooner does the sheep go astray than the shepherd is filled with grief and anxiety. He counts and recounts the flock. When he's sure that one sheep is lost, he slumbers not. He leaves the 99 within the fold and goes in search of the strange sheep. The darker and more tempestuous the night, and the more perilous the way, the greater is the shepherd's anxiety and the more earnest his search. He makes every effort to find that one lost sheep. With what relief he hears in the distance its first faint cry. Following the sound, he climbs the steepest heights. He goes to the very edge of the precipice at the risk of his own life. Thus he searches, while the cry, growing fainter, tells him that his sheep is ready to die. At last, his effort is rewarded, the lost is found. Then he does not scold it because it was caused so much trouble. He does not whip, he does not drive it with a whip, and he doesn't even try to lead it home. In his joy, he takes the trembling creature upon his shoulders. If it is bruised and wounded, he gathers it in his arms, pressing it close to his bosom, that the warmth of his own heart may give it life. With gratitude that his search has not been in vain, he bears it back to the fold. Thank God. He has presented to our imagination no picture of a sorrowful shepherd returning without the sheep. The parable does not speak of failure, but of success and joy in the recovery. Here is the divine guarantee that not even one of the strange sheep of God's fold is overlooked. Not one is left unsecured. Everyone that will submit to be ransomed, Christ will rescue from the pit of corruption and from the briars of sin. Not one is left unsecured. Everyone that will submit to be ransomed, Christ will rescue. Everyone that will submit. If you don't submit, You can't be ransomed. If we don't submit, we cannot be ransomed. We cannot be rescued. That's a whole nother twist on the lost sheep.